One. A good day to you. I am Taku David from the Speak Zimbabwe project, an exciting initiative where we're going to be exploring our democratic rights and knowing our constitution and how we can express ourselves, express our thoughts, and be better contributors to our communities. Today, I'm joined by Cheo Swarai, who's the project leader for the Speak Zimbabwe project. How are you doing, Cheo?
I'm good. You almost got that right, Taco. Charai, Cheo Charai.
Sharai, I was debating this. I'd been practicing it for the last couple of days, but yeah, I'm glad you corrected me there. How are you doing, Cheo Charai?
I'm very well, Taco. How are you doing? Excited to be on the podcast. Excited to be speaking about the Speak Zimbabwe project.
No, thank you so much for joining us. And just for our audience, for our listeners, this is a new initiative, this is a new project, and this is a new show as well. So everything is brand new. Why don't you just take us to the beginning of this? What is the Speak Zimbabwe project?
Okay, the Speak Zimbabwe project is a project which is targeted at increasing the democratic space for the youth. We want to make sure there's enough space for open dialogue, which promotes active citizenry. And we've got a special emphasis on citizens knowing their constitution so that when we speak, we want to speak from a position of knowledge and of information and of truth. So, in short, the Speak Zimbabwe project is a project which enhances democratic engagement of the youth so that they know their freedom of expression and freedom of speech, the rights that come with it, and the responsibilities also that come with the freedoms.
Wow, okay, that's a lot. And very, very intriguing and interesting space. And there's a couple of things that you touched on that I would like to maybe uh, pick up on. And the first thing you spoke about was active citizenry. What does that mean? Because I think there's a lot of misconceptions that people lead with, and when they hear active citizenry, they think of protests, they think of politics. What does that mean to you, and what does it mean to this project?
Active citizenry means I'm active as a citizen of Zimbabwe. By being active, I am aware of what is going on in my country, in my community. I know what I'm supposed to do, what's required of me as a citizen. I contribute to the fiscus. I also know when to say no to what I don't want. I know when to hold people responsible or accountable for what they're supposed to be accountable for. I know when to be proactive about certain things and decisions which before they happen. And then I know how to react when things happen which I don't like or which I might not agree with. In short, it's just being participative in what goes around. And it's not restricted to the politics of the country. I'm an entrepreneur by background, but I'm also an active citizen because in my entrepreneurship endeavors, I look at what affects people, how I can come in with my solutions, and I also know what's expected of me and what to expect from the authorities. That's active citizenry.
And this is something that I'm quite passionate about. Being a citizen who loves this country, loves the society. What are some of the you spoke about knowing what your rights are. You spoke about knowing how you can contribute to society. What are some of the positives of active citizenry? How can I contribute positively as an active citizen? From the my local community level, whether it's in my organization, whether it's at council, how can I participate and have my voice heard?
The advantages of having your voice heard, of speaking up, is being able to influence policy. Like I said, we need to be proactive. So before something is enacted, usually they've got hearings, public hearings are held. So if you're an active citizen and you pitch up to those events and you contribute and you listen, then you can influence what happens in society, what happens in your community. You can influence service delivery. You get an ear from those in authority so that they know the decisions, how the decisions they make will affect you. And right now we're targeting youth. So the youth issues are a lot. we're talking about employment, we're talking about health access, we're talking about education access and the fees related to that. So it's across the spectrum. The advantages of you being heard, of you being active, are, are numerous.
And I understand that the project launched recently with a stakeholder session, and maybe if you would be so kind as to give us a glimpse as to some of the challenges that the youth had expressed that are stopping them from or impeding them from exercising their rights fully and their right to freedom of speech, and maybe some of the shortcomings they have with regards to knowledge of the Constitution.
Okay, the problems which were cited, just a few of them. One, the attachment to politics of just knowing the Constitution. That was one of them. The second one was when they're in the tertiary institution and they want to be active, usually they also get discouraged by their parents to say, we sent you to school to learn. What is this that you're now taking up? The other barrier was also cited as fear of freedom after expression, is how it was termed. And then another one was just access to the information, accessing the Constitution itself, having the Constitution in the different languages and accessible online. So it's more, the barrier is not knowing where to get the information and the knowledge of exactly how it then applies to the everyday living of the youth. Those were some of the barriers.
There are a myriad of stakeholders to this project, one being the youth. Who are the other stakeholders or the other parties that aim to benefit from this initiative or who find this to be a key element of their deliverables?
Sure. The Speak Zimbabwe project, I didn't mention it at the beginning, but is project which is being run by the Alumni Exchange Association. So the alumni network is a network of individuals who have participated in exchange programs from the United States Department of State. So one of the beneficiaries is also the alumni who belong to the association, because the alumni are passionate about the fields they work in and they're experts in the fields that they focus on. So we're going to have them roped into the program. We've got educators who are also very central stakeholders. We've got legal practitioners, we've got media practitioners, and we've got other NGOs who will participate in the civic space who are definitely going to be joining us and partnering with us. So the scope of partners and stakeholders is big, but those are the main ones who I've just touched on.
Uh, there's one glaring one which I hope you would touch on for me. What is the role of the government in this initiative? Because of course the Constitution is ours, it's theirs, and I believe that they would also want to see freedom of speech being understood, practiced, and also for people to understand the right that they've been afforded as well as the limitations to this right. So, what is the role of government in this initiative?
Um, Government is going to be represented in all the stakeholders who I mentioned, from the legal experts to the media to the students and the partners, the civic organizations. We've got representatives of the government on each level. And at the end of the project, we are going to produce a position paper, a white paper, which will present to all stakeholders, including government. And because this program is targeted at youth, the government has emphasis on youth empowerment. So, as a stakeholder, I'm sure they're going to be very keen to then know the result of what the youth are saying, what the youth have been trained on, and what the youth know with regards to the Constitution.
Thank you very much. I'm very fond of the idea or the concept that freedom of speech, democracy, knowing our constitution, these are all elements that are beneficial to every element of society, and it is in our best interests to work well with those who govern us and develop solutions together. So thank you for developing such an initiative and such a project. Joe, and just tell us a little bit more about yourself. Who are you? What's your background? And what has inspired you to be a part of this initiative and really just take the bull by the horns and make action happen in your country?
Yeah, bull by the horns made me smile. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since 2011 in the healthcare space. I run two companies in medical supplies and in medical travel. I got to be a part of the Speak Zimbabwe project because I am a Mandela Washington Fellow. And when 2 years ago, the alumni decided to form a board to represent all the alumni who've participated in the exchange programs. I was fortunate enough to be the first program director in that board. And because I'm program director, then I'm in charge of the programs which run, and we spearheaded this project, this civic project on the Speak Zimbabwe. So it's my first time hands-on facilitating such a project, but I'm very passionate about empowerment of self, and through empowering myself, empowerment of others. So that's where the overlap really is with this project, because I see it as a tool to empower the youth. And after this project, I'm looking forward to saying I am a civic activist. It's going to be exciting. It's a learning process, but really my role is to facilitate that dialogue, to listen, to collate things, to facilitate trainings, and then at the end of it, to produce a paper which we can refer to, and to also produce a training manual for people who might not be able to participate directly in the project, so that we also engage them on training as civic leaders.
Brilliant. I understand that this project is at its beginning. What can we look forward to over the course of the year?
Over the next 8 months, because we're targeting to complete the project in the next 8 months, we're going to have 6 public debates, and 6 trainings to university students. Each training will target 150 participants, and it will be a full day of debating and training on civic leadership. We'll also produce the white paper I've been talking about, and we'll also produce a training manual, which is then referred to by people who have not participated directly in the program. We are also going to have a summit at the end of it, which includes some students and some stakeholders, so that at the very end we assess where we were before we started and where we are at the end of the project.
Great. And I'm sure we've got listeners who are eager to participate in this. They've heard everything you said and they want to come on board. How can anyone sign up and come on board or attend one of these events?
Sure. We've got a website as the Alumni Exchange Association. The details will be posted on that website. We also are going to be communicating via our social media handles, and that's on Instagram and on Facebook. So everyone who's interested in participating should look out for those channels, fill out the Google form, which will be, the link will be posted on it, indicate in what capacity they want to participate. And when we are coming to an area near them, then we will contact them and reach out and say, this is what is going on. Can you come through? We're planning on having these trainings at 6 different locations throughout Zimbabwe. So in terms of accessibility, the idea is to not leave anyone behind.
Splendid. Thank you so much, Cheo. We really appreciate your time and really appreciate you coming on the program and are very excited to see what comes out of this for the country, for the continent, and for the world. Cheo, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And one more thing, you spoke about your alumni network. How soon can we get some of the alumni network on this program?
Taku, do you want them tomorrow? They will be here.
There you go, guys. You heard it from Cheo.
Yeah.
You heard it from Cheo, from the boss lady herself. So we're going to have some of the alumni guests on this program sharing their insights, sharing their experience in different areas and different niche fields. and their experience and insights on democracy, freedom of speech, and our adoption of the Constitution in Zimbabwe. So it's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to speaking to you all in our next episode as we catch up with some of the alumni network. This is the Speak Zimbabwe project. I'm Taku David, and I've been speaking to Cheu Sharai. I hope I got that right. We'll catch you next week with more on this show.
Bye.